stay under the number. So to get involved, you can help out and give TexAgs a little love as well. tx.ag/Nuno21. No tilde in the Nuno. tx.ag/Nuno21. We're going to continue to give you updates throughout the show. And it's been a great couple of days, by the way. And our show topic today is kind of in relation to what's going on there with Pass It Back Day. What does the Aggie Ring mean to you? If you're an Aggie, what does it mean to you? If you're not an Aggie, you have Aggie family, or you're just a fan of this university, when you see it, what does it signify? What does it symbolize to you? Love to hear your takes on that. But it's been a great few days here. Really few months or weeks, I should say. We shift to yesterday's Aggie football press conference, and the strength of this team is wearing their opponents down. That's what they've done this year, especially in those games that this last month that we have seen be the better team in the fourth quarter. Now, they didn't have to do that, obviously, in the South Carolina game or really the Missouri game, so I guess I should reset. But that all being said, in the fourth quarter and towards the end of the season, this Aggie football team wears you down, and we're seeing in real time what Jimbo's offense and his whole team can do. Obviously, a huge effort is going to be needed this weekend against Ole Miss. Definitely their hardest road test of the year. Obviously, Dallas. Obviously, I use the same word several times, but Dallas was neutral. Colorado was, early in the season, not the same Aggie team we're seeing now. And, a lot of Aggie fans were at that game. Missouri, what to me was a small high school environment. And now on to Oxford. And with that, we begin the Go Hour here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Good morning to you, OB.
It is a good morning.
How are you, man?
I'm doing very well. Good night's sleep. Got up early, feeling good. Weather's great.
What is considered a good night's sleep to you? Is it 7+ hours?
Means I only woke up like once during the night.
Okay.
Yeah. If I can get by just once, then I'm doing all right.
So you shouldn't drink water right before you go to bed. You're supposed to stop 2 hours before. That's the rumor.
I keep a bottle of water on the nightstand.
Well, that'll make you go to the bathroom. Yeah. Just saying.
Well, at my age, you're going to go no matter what.
Well,
so just
deal with it.
Yeah, you just acknowledge that.
You just acknowledge it.
It's coming for you. You just don't know it yet.
Well, sometimes I think I have it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I don't. And I realize, I just had a glass and a half of water right before I go to bed. Of course I'm going to wake up at some point. So now I've scaled it back.
Yeah, 10 years, it's not going to matter.
It happens. It does happen. Hey, so let's talk a little bit about what I set up the show with. Yesterday we had Jimbo, and obviously this team is in a very good spot. What I love about this team is the stuff that I saw last year from far away, the stuff we talked about this summer when everybody was talking about these high-octane offenses and how they beat teams now in today's college football. We are watching in real time, again, why Jimbo's offense works in any era of football.
I think football always starts at the line of scrimmage, obviously. And if you can win at the line of scrimmage, then you're going to have a chance to be very successful. Your defense right now is keeping teams from scoring a lot of points. So you don't have to score a lot to win. But, if you can control the football and run it, you're going to move the ball. And they won that game against Auburn the same way, a lot of Alabama championship teams used to win. I would play good defense, get a non-offensive touchdown, and run the ball well and kick field goals.
Right.
So that works, and it's quite frankly, it's working for Georgia.
It is working for Georgia. Now, the question I ask about Georgia, and really you could ask about the A&M offense as well, is do they have enough firepower to win? Does Georgia have enough firepower when it comes to, with that defense? You may win a game even against those high-octane offenses. You saw what they did to Ole Miss a couple weeks back. But can A&M and Georgia continue to win at the highest level if your offense is sometimes pedestrian? And I don't think the A&M offense is, by the way.
Yes, the answer is yes, because, again, you don't have to score a lot to win. We're conditioned to think that scoring 40 points a game means you're a good football team.
Yep.
And I think that's what was held A&M back last year, was that those people in the media and in the committee thinks scoring a lot of points equates winning. And sometimes it does, but there's the old cliche that defense wins championships, and I think that cliche is being proved right again. And I haven't seen yet the team that wins a championship just because they score a lot of points. That LSU team had a sound defense.
Right.
It wasn't great. It wasn't suffocating, but it was sound. The Alabama last year had a sound defense. It wasn't great. It got better as the season went on, but it was sound. But if you've got to play good defense, maybe not great defense, but not suffocating defense, stellar, but you've got to play good defense to win.
You definitely.
Otherwise, Texas Tech would have already had about 10 championships.
That's right. And Mike Leach, wherever he's gone, would have had about 10 championships.
Right.
So a tweet came into me for us on the show that I think we are going to discuss here for a moment. I just think it's very interesting. Let me get to it as I waste time here on the show. It looks like I don't have the app open. But about what is happening right now at Texas, okay? So here is the question that came in. Word is that Texas's Moore kid, the wide receiver, had words with Sark before he left the portal and after, but played in between, wondering if the portal gives elite kids the confidence to talk back because they have the portal as an out. This is coming in from MB or Texas Bets 21 on Twitter. And he went on to tweet again and say, this is not a shot at Texas, just in general. The transfer portal, what does it do to the mindset of young kids? And I do think social media, the portal, there's a lot of, you can leave a program now like you've never been able to do before and start all over, regardless if you're a junior, a freshman, you have that one time you can leave. And I do wonder if it gives kids a little bit more confidence to be like, whatever, I'm out.
Well, it definitely gives them more freedom and more options. And if you feel like something's not right, or if you don't, it used to be that if you didn't like your situation, you could always transfer, but you're going to have to sit out of here.
Right.
I don't know what happened in that regard. Like you said, I heard they had words, but what was it about? I
think he had a drop in that game, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong.
Maybe. Again, but I can't imagine one drop sparking an argument that leads to a guy just leaving an entire program.
Right.
So, there's probably something to that. But I still think that goes back to the whole thing where you talk about, athletes that get in trouble with the law, and you're probably talking about a really small percentage, but they're the ones that get the attention because it's a sensational story. Because there's a lot of guys that aren't going into the portal for any other reason, but they just want playing time somewhere else. The guys that are playing typically aren't jumping into the portal.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Let's go to the news and social center. Tori Escobar is with us this morning. Good morning, Tori.
Good morning, you guys. How y'all doing today?
We're good. You got any headlines for us?
I do. As Zach Taylor also repeated on the zone, I'm just going to kind of hit off of it again. Number 23, Texas A&M women's basketball team tips off their season tonight in the season opener against Texas A&M Corpus Christi at 7 p.m. in Reed Arena. And also Texas A&M Tyree Johnson and Seth Small earned the Southeastern Conference weekly honors after leading the Aggies to a 20-3 win over Auburn.
Yeah, I don't think we're surprised by Tyree Johnson at all. I mean, he has just been dynamic. He just makes plays. I mean, sacks are sacks, interceptions, touchdowns. That's what people remember. But he's making those memorable plays.
He is, and I don't want to take anything away from him because he's playing outstanding. I will say his first sack, you could almost give credit to DeMarvin Leal for it because he's creating pressure, and Bo Nix tries to get away from it, and he runs right into Tyree Johnson. But Tyree was there, and I think that just goes to show that you have a great pass rusher on both sides on both ends, and even guys coming inside, and that's why A&M's defense is playing really well. It starts right there at the line of scrimmage. I can remember when it was Miles, and he was so dominant. But with the exception of one game, there really wasn't anybody else that was providing that pass rush.
Right.
This year, you've got Tyree Johnson, who's, I think, third in the SEC in sacks. And then you got Michael Clemens, and you've got DeMarvin. And sometimes you get that inside push from McKinley Jackson had one 2 weeks ago, and Jaden Peavy. So, and then you can blitz with a Tamani Richardson and get a 15-yard loss at a big time. Man, it's a heck of a pass rush they've got. But Tyree right now is leading the charge and deserves to be the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week.
As I mentioned, it is Passive Back Day, and we do have a topic that I brought up when we started the show. What does the Aggie ring mean to you? If you want to call in the BCSI hotline, you can, 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can text the AMB text line, AMB, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking. Their website is amb.com, 979-693-1150. OB and I will kind of go back and forth on that topic a little bit later in the show, but just we know what it means. It means boss, baby. That's, Aggie Ring, that's just, you're a boss in many ways, not only probably at your profession, but also in life. You're winning, that's for sure. And a lot of that is made possible because of the Association of Former Students. Passive Back Day is their big day, 24-hour day of donating, and we're so excited to be a part of it. We'll be getting reports throughout the day. 5,000 donors is their goal, but we're going to surpass that. I know we are. Fun-filled day with lots of challenges for Aggies. Class Challenge, Young Alumni Challenge. You got the Aggie Ring Challenge, the Geographic Challenge. So it's just different ways to be involved. And I want TexAgs to be a part of it and really dominate the effort today. By the end of the day, making sure that everybody knows that TexAgs Radio, the power that we have, that we've seen in many different ways, shows up today. So just do me a favor. Go to tx.ag/Nuno21 to be a part of it. We're going to get a report here from Allison Siebert in a moment, and then Charean Williams at 8:35 a.m. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Find out the latest contests, promotions, and events for 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Log on to thezone1150.com.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. Opening a My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal record and interactive tools tailored for you. You can see if you are eligible to receive benefits, view spousal benefit estimates, and compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates when you want to start receiving benefits. Already receiving benefits? Use your account to change your address, set up or change direct deposit, get a proof of income letter, and more. In most states, you can also request a replacement Social Security card. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fund Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fund Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV. Or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fund Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on The Zone.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Pioneer Steel, Gulf States Toyota, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
We know the Titans are pretty good. Where are they in the AFC?
They're playing like the best team in the AFC. I'll give them their flowers for it. I mean, without Derrick Henry, I never thought I would say it, but they are playing like the best team in the NFC.
What's nuts, Key, is...
I don't know if it's sustainable.
Yeah,
though. That's what makes you always wonder about it. If Derrick Henry were healthy, I would say yes.
When it comes time for the playoffs and we start saying who's getting out of the AFC, I'm predicting now, Jay, you're taking the Bills. Key, you're taking the Ravens. I'm not saying who I'm taking. And I think the reason is when push comes to shove, and it's tough to say, and teams are kind of evenly matched, you like extra at the quarterback. I mean, people do. It's human nature. But the Titans, maybe they don't have that, but they got, like he said, he's an athletic quarterback. He's good. He's smart. He has good players around him. Like, I don't know that the Titans can't get out. Like, maybe.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is Pass It Back Day. We're excited to do that. Before we go to the BCSI hotline, let's go to Tori Esprevo at the News and Social Center. She's got a text message to kind of set the tone for today.
Yes, I do. I have a Sutton College station saying, the Aggie Ring in our family means pass it back and pass it down. On Friday, I will get the honor to pass on the Aggie Ring to my daughter, who is a fourth-generation Aggie, 1928, 1969, 1993, and 2022. Many things have changed over almost a century since my grandfather fit on his Aggie ring, but the core values of respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and selfless service have not changed, and wearing the Aggie ring means you are passing down the tradition of to the next generation of Aggies.
All right, good stuff there. We appreciate that, Sutton. Very good words there. Let's now go to the BCSI hotline. We are joined by Association of Former Students Rep Allison Siebert, class of 2011, the Director of Annual Giving. She's there at the Clayton J. Williams Alumni Center. Good morning to you, Allison.
Hey, good morning, David.
How are you guys doing over there? Tell me how the campaign has started, how it's felt since midnight of last night.
Oh, we couldn't sleep. It's a beautiful day in Aggie land, and we're really excited for the 6th annual Day of Giving, Pass It Back Day, in support, uniting the Aggie Network in support of Texas A&M and Texas Aggies. And it's going great so far. We had a lot of donors so far, had some representatives in Illinois given, so seeing some of the lights on our map. So great to be able to be here with the Aggie Network in support of Texas Aggies. And appreciate you having me here, David.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at the map right now. I can see it. There's dots all over the place. I know we got people listening in, well, what we got? Venezuela, OB. We've got Miami, El Salvador.
Qatar.
There you go. We need that. I know we got a Canadian listening.
Oh, a lot of Canadians.
Yeah, we're huge in Canada. So, Allison, just talk to me about the mission and where this all started, how we got here 6 years later.
Yes. Well, we started out on Giving Tuesday, our first Pass It Back Day 6 years ago. A lot of organizations around the country, around the world have a Giving Tuesday, and is really meant to challenge individuals who are in support of an organization's mission and seeing how much we can do. As Aggies, we want to be the best, right? Football, great season. And we want to do the best. And that is uniting together in this one day, seeing how much we can do in 24 hours. So we set an ambitious goal to raise gifts from 5,000 donors. That's up from last year's goal of 1,876. But, you know, with the power of the Aggie Network, we know we can meet it. We've got a bunch of different challenges out there to help unite the whole Aggie Network. So if you are in Venezuela or you're in Tokyo, anywhere, you can join us. This is about, again, every Aggie helping, or even, you know, anyone and wherever you are joining together in this one day. So
can a guy like, me, that did not go to Texas A&M, obviously can't be a former student and all that, but just like A&M, can they contribute?
Hey, you're an Aggie. Gifts of any amount today, make it count. It's all about donors. So I have a donor goal. So yes, any gift. You can make a gift for someone else. We have an opportunity to sponsor a current Student Century Club membership to help start and cultivate the tradition of giving. So we know as Aggies, we like to give back and help one another. And that's a great opportunity. For just $25, you can start a Student in the Century Club membership. They get their plaque and year bars. So you can start growing that list of year bars. Or you can gift it for someone else. I just made a gift actually for my dad. My parents live in Boston. They're not Aggies. I'm the only Aggie in my family. But I made a gift for them, and they got their Century Club plaque, and they're going to get their Texas Aggie magazine so they can represent and put their decal on their car, Century Club decal, when they're up in Boston driving around. So yes, anyone, gifts of any size are welcome on this day.
Hey, Allison, let's talk about the impact of the association. If people want to see what you guys do and why this goes such a long way, what do they need to do?
Yeah, so you can go on our website, tx.ag/passitbackday. But in general, the association touches every aspect of campus. If you've gone to Midnight Yell, if you've gone to the MSC, if you've participated in Muster, our gifts to the association touch all aspects of campus. They touch all Aggies. We support current students. We support former students. We have our class reunions, A&M clubs that help unite the Aggie Network and help keep those connections together. and help that bond stay strong between our former students in Texas A&M. We give out scholarships. We have student assistance funds. There's a variety of ways that our money touches, again, campus, whether it's current students or former students. We've had a great relationship with Texas A&M over the years, and it continues to grow thanks to the support and the generosity of the Aggie Network.
So also, if you've missed a couple of years of being involved with the Association of Former Students today, you can get really back in the mix, correct?
Correct. And we have a great deal. You get 50% off missing year bars. So if you're like me, I make up a couple of year bars, having kids and going to graduate school, there's some gaps in giving. And during this day, you can buy back year bars for 50% off. So you can get a bronze year bar for $50. We actually had someone buy 31 years actually on Friday. So he's going to get a piece of mail with a lot of year bars in there to help add those to his plaque.
You want 5,000 donors. Do y'all have an actual number that you're hoping to reach as far as donations?
Great question. So last year we raised $484,000. We hope to beat that. So if we can beat that number, raise close to $500,000, again, gifts of any amount. We've raised that gifts last year from a little bit over 6,000 donors. So again, it's truly about the donors coming together and anything that you can give.
Allison, I want to remind our listeners out there and our viewers to go to tx.ag/Nuno21. Yeah, it's Nuno's the way you pronounce it, but it's spelled Nuno21 there on the URL to be a part of it. We appreciate you. We're going to be getting updates throughout the show, and thank you so much for partnering up with TexAgs for today.
Hey, thanks. Thanks so much, and appreciate you coming and letting us be on the show, and looking forward to seeing the results with everyone later today.
Thank you so much, Allison. We appreciate that.
All right.
And gig 'em. Great day to be a part of. Thank you, and happy to be a part of it, OB. And we saw it with the Kids First Fund. Aggies, we just know how to bring it.
They do. They do step up. I think as a group, Aggies are very giving, very charitable. They are active. There's the old saying that when all is said and done, usually more is said than done, but that's not the case with Aggies. They get things done.
That is right. Hey, before we hit a break, I do want to talk some Aggie football for a moment. And this Ole Miss team, I do this every week, OB. I think
you're starting to stress, aren't you?
I start to stress, yeah. And I look, I see where they're vulnerable. I see where we're a little vulnerable as well. The way we're playing, I don't think there's a reason I think we're going to be favored throughout. Well, we are going to be favored throughout. We're, I think, 1-point favorites right now, I believe. And we'll see how the week plays out. But if they're starting to get healthy, I still think our defense is so much better. We just have to, from everything I've read about the way Lane Kiffin and this Ole Miss offense goes, people talk about it as their aerial attack. But if you talk to insiders, it's really their run setting up their aerial attack. And I don't think you could run on this defense.
Well, they have. I mean, you can get you can't run consistently.
There you go.
You have a few teams have been able to. Ole Miss has the guys that are the home run hitter type guys. Charean Ely had a 69-yard touchdown run against the Aggies. I guess that would have been 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they got the big play type running backs, but I don't think they're the type of running backs that are going to take you on a 20-play drive, that's just hitting you for 4 and 5 yards every time. They're looking for that big play, that big explosive burst. And so if you can, as a defense, take that away, you'll take away the running game.
Yeah. And Matt Corral, I believe I think after the Tennessee games where he slowed down, but he's been one of their best runners this year.
Mm-hmm. I think he is their leading rusher.
And he's averaging, 50 yards a game, I think, of rushing. That, to me, opens up that offense so much more that if he is still struggling with that ankle, which we didn't see much
he was last week.
Right. Then that is a huge advantage because in the beginning of the season, running quarterbacks did give the A&M offense a little problem.
I think that's one of those things Mike Elko starts to say, okay, look, we got to adjust this and adjust that, and that hasn't been an issue. Bo Nix had a couple of runs, but I think there were scrambles.
Yeah.
I think his designed runs didn't work out very well. So, those things are going to happen. You're going to give up plays, but you just can't give them up consistently. And I would say to you, since you're stressing, I would ask you this question, and I would say, which defense do you think is more likely to stop the other team?
Without a doubt, our defense, I think, will neutralize what they do. I worry because it's on the road in the SEC, and I don't know if we've had a lot of challenges on the road. Yes, our loss at Dallas to me wasn't a huge challenge. The game against Colorado, but this is going to be our first real SEC tough road match.
Well, yeah, and every game in Oxford has been difficult, no matter what the team was. But a lot of those games that have been difficult, A&M, not all of them, but a lot of them have probably all of them have had damaged themselves with turnovers.
Yeah.
Even the Johnny Manziel at the first game, they turned the ball over so many times that game. That's the only reason it was close. The last time with the Buddy Johnson picking up the fumble, well, Kellen threw a couple of bad interceptions. Well, one was really bad. But if you don't lose the interceptions, you're driving. Yep. So I think that A&M, if they take care of the ball, it's the same thing as last week. If you don't give it away, you're going to win, I believe.
And I agree with you. Let's talk about Heritage Films for a moment. You guys have been listening. We're celebrating Pass It Back Day. We're thinking about Aggie history. How about your history? How about your family's history? Let's talk about that and put it on film. Chance McClain does such an amazing job. Heritage Films, they are just going to do a documentary film about your family, and you got to get all over this, guys. This is such a cool thing. Like, if you watch, you're going to be like, really? Like, did Steven Spielberg make my family's movie? Yeah, he basically did. His name is Chance, though, and he does amazing work out there. His daughter Gunn goes to school here. She's awesome. She's she's involved with Aggie athletics as well. I think she runs the scoreboard during during the games at Kyle Field. So they're all entrenched in what we do here, guys. Just a great, great group. And they do top-notch documentary films. And they want to advertise with TexAgs because they know Aggies care about their history. Ain't that the truth? We really do. Check out yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The annual Veterans Day ceremony will be held at Earl Graham Post 159 American Legion on Thursday at 11 a.m. The Museum of the American GI invites you to their History in Motion event this weekend. The action-packed weekend has fun activities for the entire family. The Bryan College Station Model Railroad Society invites you to their fall open house this weekend in Bonham Park. The Arts Council invites adults to join their adult art classes this fall semester. They have 7 incredible opportunities for you to try something new or expand your skills. All supplies are included. Register online at acbv.org. Hit the road to watch some Aggie football thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G provider of the SEC and the Louis Bellina Show. Win tickets to the Ole Miss game in Oxford, a gas card to get you there, and some Rudy's Barbecue to fuel you along the way. More details at zone1150.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The strength of America, our values, our way of life hasn't just been won on the battlefield. It's won every day in our communities when we come together, extending hands of compassion, service, and hope to those who need it most. For over 100 years, the American Legion has been strengthening communities across our nation by providing life-saving help and support to our veterans and neighbors during times like we're facing today.
It's what the Legion's all about.
From blood drives to distributing food, from responding to emergencies and protecting the most vulnerable among us. Our mission is making America's communities stronger.
We are one family, and therefore we care.
We are the American Legion, veterans strengthening America. To learn how you can help, visit legion.org.
If you missed Louie, you missed.
Yes, I want to win more than anyone, but at the same time, we are developing young student athletes that are becoming the people they're going to be and the adults they're going to be after they leave here, after they leave this place. But what's special is they're always going to be connected to this place. And so then you're representing more than just volleyball. You're representing A&M and the 12th man, and getting them to wrap their minds around that. I mean, we are at a crucial development stage for student athletes, but just young people that are coming from their families, from their high school life, clubs, volleyball, all of that into their own. independent lives and still developing as people and as athletes. So I look at it as a very special time, very crucial, very just, it's everything. I mean, it is more than just sports. It is life. It is real things. And
Listen to Louie from 11 to 2 weekdays on The Zone. Brought to you in part by Smoothie King.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, 911 University Drive East in College Station. They've got it all out there. Shop online at davidgardnersjewelers.com. You can get yourself a signature bracelet there, or maybe for your wife or your girlfriend, or how about a Rolex? Check it out at davidgardnersjewelers.com. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and let's go to the BCSI hotline. Charean Williams, Pro Football Talk Hall of Famer, our good friend joining the show. Good morning to you, Charean. There we are. Are we there, Charean?
I can hear you now.
Hey there. How are you today?
Hi. I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. We're celebrating Pass It Back Day and having stories about what the Aggie Ring means and whatnot. So I thought I'd start off with that for you. What does your Aggie Ring mean to you?
Well, the really cool thing was when I got a Distinguished Alum a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it's been, time flies, they gave me a crest that I also put on a necklace. So, like, today, if I'm walking or running or playing golf or doing something that, I can have that and represent what it means to be an Aggie. And, I hope it, to me at least, it reminds me to live up to our core values that are so important in life. But it also helps us connect with other Aggies, which I think also is so important. It's just so cool to be able to see a ring and know that that's your fellow Aggie, and you feel like you have a kinship there immediately.
I think every university, they have...
Hopefully I'm not hearing you.
Really?
There we are. Maybe you had press on. There, you're back.
Now.
I think, I don't even have a button to push to turn me on. Turn my...
But you're back. You're good.
Okay. I think every university, people that if you run into somebody, hey, they have this, hey, yeah, I went to this school, you did too, but there just seems to be something, as an outsider, having watched this so many times, just a very different dynamic when someone sees that ring, for instance. I don't know how many times I've been traveling with Aggies and somebody comes up, they see the ring.
Right.
And I've been in Cancun where that's happened. I've been in Cozumel.
Yeah.
I've been all over, and San Diego, New York. And it's just, it almost seems like it's a magnetic thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no question. It's just pretty cool when that happens, when you're in another city or another country even, and you see that Aggie ring, and you're among Aggies, and there's somebody there that you don't have a relationship with, but you feel like you have a relationship with right away just because of that Aggie ring that you both share.
Charean, let's talk some football. What a dominant defensive performance we saw this past weekend. How much fun was that to watch?
Oh, it was awesome. It brought back memories of those 1990s Wrecking Crews teams, the 80s and 90s that I got to cover and got to watch. And just an incredible performance by them, dominating, as you said. I don't know how else to put it, but I said before this thing was that I didn't have any respect for Bo Nix. I don't think he's a very good quarterback, and I hope he stays there forever. I hope he gets a bunch of extra years and just keeps playing at Auburn, because I just feel like we're going to dominate Bo Nix for as long as he's there. And again, just like I said last week, you get in these ruts sometimes when you're we already have our quarterback, and I think Texas did it with Sam Ehlinger. We have our quarterback. We don't need a quarterback for the next X number of years. Sam Ehlinger wasn't going to win them a championship ever. He could have stayed there 10 more years and he wasn't going to win them a championship. And it's the same with Bo Nix. They're never going to, and I may come back and eat these words, but Bo Nix is never going to win a championship for Auburn. And if they don't change quarterbacks, they're not going to have a chance to compete for a championship.
So the defense was absolutely, spectacular. What, or in your opinion, how much should we be concerned about the offense not scoring a touchdown in that game?
Well, you look at all the chances they had. I mean, the first goal from the 4 was just egregious. To get 2 false starts, a holding penalty, and burn a timeout there was just, I don't know what was going on. And those are 2 pre-snap penalties, and you just can't do that. So that's one you look at. You look at the one with A-Chain that he had broken away. And you hope that they would have scored there. There were just chances, and they just couldn't take care of them because couldn't convert them because of either turnovers or penalties. And so I think those are easily correctable things, and I do think they'll be able to run the ball this week on Ole Miss, which certainly will help. If you can run the ball, Aggies did that late in this game, second half of this game. If you can do that, you'll win a lot of football games. I was looking yesterday or Sunday at the game, how it transpired. It was the teams that were able to run the ball and able to play defense that won games. You look at what Denver did to Dallas. They had one runner over 100 yards, another at 80 yards. When you're able to run like that, and you're able to play good defense, force some turnovers, you're going to win a whole lot of games. You're going to win most of the games. And I think that's what A&M will be able to do this week. It's obviously what they were able to do last week, just weren't able to convert those into touchdowns. I don't think it's a huge concern moving forward. I think it's easily correctable things that they can fix. My favorite moment of that entire Auburn game was when A-Chain fumbled and all the defensive players went over and picked him up and said, "We got you." That, to me, was the coolest moment of that entire game, and they did. They came through and did it.
Goes back to culture that Jimbo's building here at Texas A&M. Let's talk about the legend of Zach Calzada, because I feel like he's a guy that you'd read in fables and fantasy stories and whatnot, because, kind of like Cinderella, nobody wanted him out there. He goes out there, he wins the big game against Bama after getting hurt, and then in the Auburn game gets hurt. We see him fix his shoulder on the sidelines. I mean, goodness, this guy continues to show his toughness.
And please start sliding. Please start sliding. He doesn't need to be taking some of those hits that he's taking. If he's going to run, he needs to be down. We have no other quarterbacks on scholarship on the roster, so you're it. So stay healthy. But I just think he's getting better. And I know he didn't score any touchdowns. He didn't do any touchdown passes. Offense didn't score any touchdowns. The one to Chapman, if it had been a perfect throw, it would have been a touchdown. Again, the small things we're talking about. Olin, they're fixable, right? If that ball's a little less overthrown, which it was a little bit overthrown, he had to dive for it. A little less overthrown, that's a touchdown. So, just small things. They were so close to scoring several touchdowns in that game, and it would have been an even bigger blowout. But, I just think he keeps getting better the more he plays, and it's like that with any quarterback. You have to play, you have to take snaps, you have to take practice reps, all those things he hadn't done up until the point where Haynes King got hurt. Yeah, he's getting that now, and he's seeing things that he hasn't seen before. So I just expect him to keep getting better and better and better, and I think he has, and I think he will continue to do that. And hey, it's going to be exciting next year. This quarterback battle next year is going to be really fun to watch.
Well, it's exciting this year. Do you? How confident are you that A&M can finish out 10-3? I mean 10-2.
Well, the 2 hard games remain. There's no question about that. And, I told you guys last week, I thought the Ole Miss game was scarier to me than the Auburn game, simply because it's on the road, and I think Ole Miss is a better team with a better quarterback. And they haven't played a defense like A&M. They haven't seen a running game like A&M. So I think we're going to win it, but I think it's going to be a nail-biter come down the end. LSU scares you just in the standpoint. It's Orgeron's final game at LSU, and they're going to be jacked up and hyped up, and that place is going to be electric for his final game. And you look at what they almost did to Alabama, how close they came to pulling off that upset, and that's not going to be an easy game where you just walk out there and go beat LSU. You better be ready to play. So 2 big games remain. Regardless of what Alabama does against Auburn, both of them are big, and you have to close out in the right way. And if you can do that, if you can win these final 3 games, regardless of what happens in the bowl game, regardless of what happens Alabama against Auburn, it was a really good season, and I think you took another step. I'm going to throw something out there for you guys, because I brought this up, and it started a debate, so I'll start a debate for you guys. The 2 losses, you go back and you think, well, if A&M had just won one of them, not both of them, but if A&M had just won one of those games. I make the case of if A&M had won both of those games or one of those games, we would not have beaten Alabama. I think it took those two losses to beat Alabama. Alabama looked past A&M. Saban talked all about that last week. I think they took A&M too lightly. We played great. We played loose. We had nothing to lose. We went out there and won a game. So I make the case if we hadn't lost those two games, we wouldn't have beat Alabama. So then the question becomes, if you believe that, would you trade those two losses for the Alabama win? I would not. So I think where we are right now is where we're supposed to be, and I love this team. So I'll let you guys debate that.
I think we've kind of discussed it a little bit, and OB and I might be on two different pages here, but I think you absolutely had to go through those losses to beat Alabama, not necessarily for the way Alabama came to Kyle Field, but more because I think you had to hit rock bottom to really find yourself. OB, where do you stand on this?
I don't agree with that. I think that losing to Mississippi State didn't make you better. I think that you should have won that game. And you let it get away from you, and that you were playing better against Mississippi State. You ran for 166 yards or something like that. You were showing that you could play better already. They just let it get away from them. I don't think Alabama. I do not think Alabama took A&M lightly because they had two losses. I think Nick Saban teams understand what they have to do, and even if that was the case, they had the lead with 5 minutes to go in the game and couldn't hold it.
Yeah, great point.
Hey, Charean, let's get into.
I still contend. I still contend they needed those two losses for the win, but we are where we are. I mean, you can't change it. It is what it is, and you can't go back. What if?
They did not beat Alabama because Alabama wasn't focused. They beat Alabama because they went out there and kicked their ass.
They did. Look at that. Can that be a new hotkey? Hey, Charean, so let's.
Wow, I like it.
I liked it too. Let's get into the Aggies in the NFL. Who are your top ones out there?
Well, we're going to go third. We're going to go Miles. The Browns had the big victory over the Bengals. He had 2 tackles, a sack and a half, 3 quarterback hits, and he leads the NFL. Guess what? With 12 sacks, T.J. Watt made up some ground with 3 sacks last night. But Miles right now leads the NFL with 12 sacks. I just voted on my midseason AP team, and I put Miles as Defensive Player of the Year. So he's probably in the lead for that right now. So needs to hold on and keep sacking the quarterback to get that. Number 2, I'm going to go with Ryan Tannehill. Didn't play great, but 19 of 27, 143 yards, touchdown, interception. He ran for a touchdown. It was enough for the Titans, again, with the way they played defense. Had a pick six and almost another pick six, but that was a huge victory for them to beat the Rams. And number 1, Christian Kirk. I mean, how about the Cardinals' victory over the 49ers? They didn't have Kyler Murray, A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk was it. He threw 1 for 1 for 33 yards down to the 1-yard line. Too bad that wasn't a touchdown. Caught 6 passes for 91 yards. Their leading receiver really led the way for that Cardinals offense, missing all their big stars. So those are the 3 this week for the Aggies.
Great stuff, Charean. Thank you so much. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Charean Williams here on the BCSI Hotline on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. You're going to like this one, OB. Aggie Land Express time. Veterans Day, Thursday, November 11th. All day on Thursday, Aggie Land Express Car Wash is giving a free car wash to veterans and active duty military. Aggie Land Express Car Wash wants to thank you for your service, so thank you so much. And beyond that, right now, caller number 1, they're going to give you a free car wash from Aggie Land Express Car Wash in South College Station off of William D. Fitch and Greens Prairie. They're Aggie owned and operated with the friendliest staff and personal touch. They offer monthly memberships, but they're going to give the first caller a free car wash right now from Aggie Land Express in South College Station, 979-693-1115. Don't forget, Veterans Day, they're going to take care of you for all those veterans and active military, active duty military. It is Aggie Land Express.
Your home for Texas A&M women's basketball is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone. The Zone.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage.
The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggieLandBigDeals.com to save big. AggieLandBigDeals.com.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
This is ESPN Radio.
7-time Pro Bowler Dwight Freeney.
Chris, hold it down for the D-lineman, baby.
You know I got you, big fella.
Allen Robinson, Chicago Bears. I hit whoever throwing the ball.
Thrilled to have Bubba Wallace.
My team and I, we can move mountains with everything that we do. Nate Newton, former Cowboy. You the man, Keith. You the man, okay?
World Series champ, Brett McGriff.
A walk-off, you hit that home run off that pitcher, and you running around the bases. Yeah, I got you, dude.
Aggies coach Jimbo Fisher.
We do it in practice, they do it in games. Everybody's dancing now.
NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman.
It's great to be in an ESPN studio for the first time in 17 years. Another Hall of Famer, the great Steve Atwater.
You took the soul of the Nigerian Nightmare. It was a great play, but I don't want to be super disrespectful to him. I would have said, Christian, look at me. Who's your dad?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
We gonna talk hoops next time you come on the show. Hoop Squad.
I'm a Rockets fan.
Might be a while until we bring back on to talk about the Rockets.
ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
We are coming back. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I want to remind everybody that all guests and callers that join the show join us on the BCSI hotline, that being the video hotline or the phone hotline. And BCSI is proud to announce that fall LASIK special. Dr. K taking care of our listeners out there. Call 979-701-2020. If you mention TexAgs, you're going to get hooked up, guys. A free LASIK consult and $400 off of your custom LASIK surgery. You don't have to drive to Austin or Dallas or wherever else you think you may have to drive to, because Dr. K has got a great team right here in the BCS. They're going to give you a world-class LASIK eye surgery experience. You definitely want to go call him up and check it out, 979-701-2020. He prides himself on obtaining the best visual outcomes for all of his patients. So check it all out. Let's let's go to the News and Social Center. People want to comment on the Aggie Ring and also some Aggie football. Tori Escrivoa.
Yes. Yeah, I have Michaela, she's the producer at The Zone. She said, I met this woman who was an Aggie. When she saw my ring, she was excited and congratulated me. She told me that one time she had a flat tire on the highway and someone saw her trying to change her tire on the shoulder. They saw she was an Aggie when they stopped to help because she was wearing her Aggie ring. They were Aggies too. They changed her tire for her and hooked her up with their friend who worked at an auto shop to get her a new tire. Having an Aggie ring is like having a secret family.
I agree with that. I'll tell some stories later, but when I moved to San Diego back in 2001, I did not expect, and you mentioned San Diego earlier as well, for like Aggies to stop me, but they did. Especially when you're outside of the Texas bubble. I think it means so much more when somebody, hey, gig 'em. Whoa, hey, gig 'em right back at you.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend who was an Aggie, and we were in San Diego once at La Jolla.
Yeah.
And, more than a couple came by. There must have been a lot of Aggies there that day.
Yeah, no.
that was the first time I experienced that. I said, this is kind of bizarre.
So we went to the, what do they call it? The the Aggie former students group of each city. I forget the name of it, right? The Houston Club.
Right.
Went to the San Diego Club. It was packed. There was a lot of from in San Diego living for that. It was cool. It was cool to see. What else you got for us, Tori?
Yeah, I have Johnny in Dallas. Want to put some input in some football. He said, outside of Bryce Young, Matt Corral is the best quarterback that our defense will face. Our defense is stout against the run, but vulnerable against the pass. We won't be able to shut them down. We're going to have to be in sync, and we'll likely need 30 points scored to win.
What do you think about that?
I do think that Ole Miss throws the ball well.
Yeah.
And A&M sometimes have had trouble with the pass, but when you're playing, at this level, teams are typically they're going to make plays, at this level. And Ole Miss is going to make plays. I just kind of feel like that if Liberty can run for 287 yards or whatever it was against Ole Miss, that A&M should be running for that. And I still think that A&M is the team that's more likely is the defense that's more likely to stop the opponent's offense.
So you think 250 yards rushing is pretty feasible?
I think it might be conservative.
Really? So are we going to get a 300-yard rushing attempt a game?
It could happen.
I would, and if you do that, you're going to limit that offense to touching the field very much.
Well, unless you've got 75-yard runs.
Well, this is true. But if you got 75-yard runs,
I'll take the points and take my chances on defense.
Yeah, man. It's look, I am concerned, but the way we're playing, not concerned like I was concerned, obviously a month ago. The concern now is just because it is the SEC and all the LSU games.
Respect every opponent.
Absolutely.
And especially on the road.
It's going to be a tough one, and those games are always tough. OB, we appreciate you.
Bet.
All right, in the 9 o'clock hour, we've got Chris Gordy joining the show from Locked On SEC. Looking forward to chatting with him. We're going to talk to somebody from the Student Muster Committee. It'll be a fun chat. Andrew Monaco stopping by as well. You're listening to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
This is Aggieland's home for Aggie football, Aggie basketball, and Aggie baseball. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. The Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce held its 2021 annual banquet last night. Brazos County Commissioner Irma Cawley spoke after she was presented the Chamber's Citizen of the Year Award.
Thank you for your hard work, dedication, grace, compassion, and thank you for your care. My heart is full of thanks.
Bryan Broadcasting's Mary Mike Hatcher was recognized as the Chamber's Volunteer of the Year.
There's one thing that needs to be in every volunteer's handbook, and that is you must have fun in whatever you're doing.
The Chamber's Ambassador of the Year, the only award that was not announced in advance, was presented to Papa Joe Foster. Another incumbent Brazos County official has announced running for re-election. District Clerk Gabriel Garcia seeking a second term. The filing deadline for the primary election next March is December 13th. Multiple Brazos County Sheriff's deputies, including the department's SWAT team, spent last Friday morning searching a home behind a College Station church. 6 people were arrested for possessing drugs inside a drug-free zone by living next to a daycare center that is part of the Skybreak Church property on Harvey Road. The arrest reports also noted a mother and son are accused of delivering narcotics in 2 counties. The mother, 35-year-old Elizabeth Moody, is also accused of giving the landlord heroin to pay rent. Gunfire in a College Station apartment complex Saturday night that was also in the direction of businesses led to an arrest. According to the CSPD arrest report, 34-year-old Terrence Foley Sr. denied having a gun, but he also told an officer that he would not be surprised if he tested positive for gunshot residue. No one and no structures were struck from the gunfire at the Flats on 12 complex near Harvey Mitchell and Southwood. Foley was arrested on charges of deadly conduct, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, evidence tampering, and drug possession. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggie Land is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV. Or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on The Zone.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggieLandBigDeals.com to save big. AggieLandBigDeals.com.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M's Tyree Johnson has been named SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week after racking up 2 sacks and a forced fumble in Saturday's 20-3 win over Auburn. Teammate and place kicker Seth Small earned a share of Special Teams Player of the Week after knocking down 4 field goals. 23rd ranked women's basketball officially opens up its year tonight as it welcomes A&M Corpus Christi to town. Coach Gary Blair was asked what the rotation will look like against the Islanders.
I think you will see 14 young ladies ready to go unless we have an injury in practice today. But you will not know who is going to be starting. You can speculate, though.
Tip-offs tonight at 7 o'clock at Reed with broadcast right here on The Zone. And now for a sneak peek at the SEC, brought to you by T-Mobile. In addition to A&M, several other women's basketball teams in action today. LSU hosts Nicholls, South Carolina meets up with NC State, Florida entertains Georgia State, and Kentucky faces Presbyterian. Mississippi State dukes it out with Alabama State, and Vanderbilt hosts Gardner-Webb. And that's been your SEC Sneak Peek, brought to you by T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. And that's also been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
Aggie football game day on The Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on The Zone is brought to you in part by Higginbotham Insurance, Stephen Gustitis, attorney at law, Tradition, Mobile One Oil and Lube, and Gage Gandy Bail Bonds. After you listen to the Twin Peaks pregame show powered by TexAgs.com, listen to every single Aggie football game right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
And we're back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Having a good old time here on Pass It Back Day. Trying to remind everybody, the Association of Former Students, this is their 24-hour day of giving back. So hopefully you guys have heard some of the messaging we've been doing today and talked about our Aggie Ring, what it means and whatnot, and just give back. They're trying to get to over 5,000 donors. Let's do that. Let's get over 5,000 donors. Go to tx.ag/NUNO21, tx.ag/NUNO21 to pass it back and give back. It'd be such a great cause, and TexAgs is trying to go be the number one out there when it comes to donating. So make sure that you guys are a part of that. Let's get into some college football, Aggie-related, SEC-related, you name it. Chris Gordy, our good friend, Locked On SEC podcast and iHeartRadio. Gordy, how are you, bud?
Yo, what's going on, David? Hey, sorry, my Tigers did their best for your Ags, okay? They tried. LSU just couldn't get it done.
Hey, so I'm trying to understand I know LSU's lost some games, but I feel like a lot of these games are very winnable. How good is LSU just not finishing against the number 2 team in the country?
Well, I think what most LSU fans were frustrated with, because everybody went into this game, LSU was about a 28, 29-point underdog against Bama. Like, nobody expected them to be in the game. What was frustrating, though, was we saw elements of this defense that we had not seen all year. We saw blitzing like crazy, stuff that fans have been asking about since week 1 in the loss to UCLA. Why didn't we blitz more? Why didn't we bring more pressure? It was like they took all the collective gripes and everything from fans over the weeks, and they addressed it all and they fixed it. It's like, y'all are all already fired. Like, this is too late, too little, too late. Like, what are you doing? If you had done this 8 weeks ago, you guys would all probably still be coaching here. So it's frustrating from that standpoint. It was frustrating that LSU couldn't pull out the win because, man, they had every opportunity to. And I think what's just encouraging is, LSU had no 5-stars in this game. All their, I think it was 12 starters from the start of the year were not playing in this game. How they were able to do this and keep Alabama in check with a bunch of backups, second stringers and third stringers. I think that was most impressive, and it shows Alabama's fallible. And if I'm Jimbo Fisher, I'm calling Brian Harsin right now going, hey, man, let me just, if you need anything, if you need any advice, if you need any tips for that Iron Bowl, we'll give you whatever you guys need, because we really need you guys to beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl, and I think it is doable. Yeah, I think it is doable. You're talking about the LSU defense. For a moment, let's talk about the A&M defense that we saw this past weekend against Auburn. Just how good were you able to watch the game, or mostly the highlights, and just how good did they look in your opinion? Yeah, I mean, I said last week on my podcast, Locked On SEC, I said I thought this was going to be a slugfest. Now, I thought it was going to be like a 23-21 type game, but I knew Mike Elko was going to have this group ready. And, lo and behold, Tyree Johnson now kind of becoming a household name. But one guy to keep an eye on, and the other side of the ball, this matchup against Ole Miss this week is big Sam Williams for Ole Miss, who leads the country in sacks. Kind of cool that two guys that maybe a couple weeks ago nobody was talking about. Now Sam Williams and Tyree Johnson becoming household names among the leaders in sacks in the country. But yeah, for all the attention DeMarvin Leal got and all the other guys on that defensive line, Tyree Johnson getting the shine. And man, he's a force. Like he's a guy you need to game plan for if you're playing Texas A&M. And so Lane Kiffin and company, they're going to have to figure out something. Now, the interesting part is Ole Miss, when they're good, they're balanced. They run the ball very well. And obviously we know what Matt Corral can do in the passing game, but I just question how healthy Ole Miss is going to be this week. I mean, Matt Corral has been playing banged up for a couple weeks. Now the stats don't show it. He's been okay, but I think A&M's got a real opportunity to go in here and apply some pressure and make it really tough and slow down this Ole Miss offense. But defensively, yeah, I mean, it was funny, David, just a week ago, a friend of mine was saying, yeah, A&M's good, but who'd they beat the last 2 weeks? It was South Carolina and Mizzou. They got a real test and a good Auburn team, and they passed the test this past week. Now, if you were watching this game and you wanted pretty football, it wasn't pretty football. Missed field goals, punts galore, 3 and outs, and all that. But no, I mean, that was exactly what A&M needed, and this defense continues to show they're one of the best in the country. Chris Gordy on the BCSI hotline, Locked On SEC, the great podcast, iHeartRadio, 790 in Houston. All right, so I'll ask you a very simple question. How has your opinion of Zach Calzada changed from early on to where he is now? Man, it's it's funny, David, because when we go back earlier in the year, when he was struggling against the Colorado, when he's thrown into the mix, and even New Mexico, he looked okay. Arkansas, Mississippi State, we know how he struggled in those games. But I remember thinking back to that time and somebody saying, man, Jimbo's supposed to be this quarterback whisperer. He's supposed to be this guy that can develop any quarterback. And look at this. He can't do anything with Calzada. And it was kind of just one of those things. give it a little time. Let him work as the starter for a couple weeks and ease him into the game plan, find what he's comfortable for and all that. And then obviously we saw, the dynamic game against Alabama where he was fantastic. These last couple weeks, he's been fine. It's been nothing to write home about, but I think the way the defense has been playing and the run game finally waking up and starting to look more like we expected before the season, I don't think Zach has to do a whole lot. I think in the way the schedule sets up, if they win this one, I think they're going to get LSU's best shot the final week, but I think there's a real shot here. The Aggies do run the table and get to a really, really good bowl game. Now, again, here's hoping Alabama can get knocked off by Auburn and Aggies are playing for something bigger. But if not, you're going to go to a really good bowl game if you run the table here. So, and then the question, of course, David, all offseason will be, who's the quarterback moving forward in the future? If Haynes King comes back and he's healthy and ready to go, is Calzada the guy for the next, going into next year? Or do you just say, hey, it's an open quarterback battle with all the recruits coming in and all that? So it'll be a fun offseason discussion topic, but I think Calzada is going to do just fine. I think, like I said, Aggies have a great shot to win out here.
Chris Gordy with us here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. All right, so let's just say the Aggies do go 10-2 for the regular season. What does it say about Jimbo Fisher, who, in my opinion, would be in the mix for the Coach of the Year? Obviously Kirby's got a lot to say with that, but the fact that he lost his starting quarterback, had some injuries at the wide receiver spot, had two freshmen starting on the offensive line that he did not expect to have starting, and navigate through those 2 tough weeks. What does it say about the turnaround for the job he's done?
I mean, it's fantastic. I think he deserves to be in the category of, at least up there for Coach of the Year in the SEC. Some great candidates. I saw Kirby Smart. Somebody was making an argument for him. Like, that's stupid. Like, we knew Georgia was going to be loaded. We knew they were going to, be a favorite to make it to the playoff and win the East and all that. So I think that's kind of silly. Brian Harsin, I think, deserves some credit for coming in there and doing what he's done with Auburn if he can win a couple more games. But I don't know how you get past Jimbo and acknowledging losing the starting quarterback and all the, things that they had to go through, and then still able to come back and beat Alabama as huge underdogs in Kyle Field. And if he does run the table, I think Jimbo absolutely deserves some votes for Coach of the Year. But man, it just, if you're an Aggie fan, you just can't help but wonder, it's a season of what if. Man, if we just would have beaten Mississippi State, last year was like, man, that one game eluded you, that Alabama game, but you took care of everything else. This year you took care of the Alabama game, but it was those other games that really are going to be in the back of your mind. Man, what if we had won one of those games? And so you feel good moving forward. You feel good, confident about the future, but man, it just shows in the SEC, the Aggies, this is what you wanted. You wanted this pressure. You wanted the big competition, but man, you slip up one time and your hopes and dreams go out the window that quickly.
Do you think Alabama is going to make it to the playoffs?
From what I've seen from Alabama so far, they're going to get their brains beaten by Georgia. I mean, Georgia's defense is the real deal. They prove it week in and week out. I don't know if you saw the end of the Missouri game this past weekend, but Mizzou gets down to the goal line with like a minute left, and they're just trying to punch it in. Georgia's like, hell no, we are not letting you into our end zone. We're not giving up a touchdown. I mean, they take pride in it. They're so deep. We'll see what they do, down the stretch of the season. But, man, if it's Alabama versus Georgia in the SEC title game, I just don't see – Alabama's got so many problems on their offensive line. They can't run the ball. We just saw that this past week against LSU. They only have Brian Robinson as their one lone decent back. And I think Georgia's got the DBs to take away some of the receivers, to defend Mechie and certainly get pressure up front on Bryce Young. And I was surprised, David, talking with a buddy of mine who was at the game this past weekend. He said he was surprised how small Bryce Young really is. They list him as 6'1". He said he's not 6'1". He's more like 5'10", maybe 5'11". He's a small guy. And it just, when you don't have a good offensive line and you're not able to, and you got pressure coming at you from every which way, like LSU was blitzing, man, I don't see how Alabama's going to score 25, 30 points against Georgia. And on the flip side, Stetson Bennett is just being that ultimate game manager for Georgia right now. I know JT Daniels got in this past week, but I think Georgia just keeps rolling with Stetson Bennett. He's doing a great job. The run game is doing well. So I don't see a scenario where Alabama can beat Georgia if those are the two teams playing in Atlanta.
All right, I just, because I'm a weirdo, I'm looking at the rankings right now, and I'm thinking to myself, is there a way for A&M to get to the college football playoffs even if Bama doesn't lose until the SEC championship game. And I'm just going to throw some things at you, and you tell me if I'm just ridiculous here. Cincinnati loses one. Are they out?
Yeah, I question even if, I mean, this committee seems to hate the non-Power 5 schools. And so it's like you wonder if, even if Cincinnati were to go undefeated, it feels like you have to put them in with what's happening with other teams taking losses and all that. But man, it just seems like they disrespect them so much and they hate them. Yes, to answer your question, if Cincinnati loses, they're definitely out.
Oklahoma, they still got a Big 12 championship game. They could lose somewhere down the stretch. You know, they got still Baylor to go. They still got who else do they got? Oklahoma State, obviously. So let's just say they get a couple of losses. They would be out too, right?
I think so, yeah. It was interesting, the first playoff rankings when they came out, they had Oklahoma as low as they did. That, you know, that kind of screamed, hey, you know, we don't respect what Oklahoma's done. They've played with fire every week. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting one.
You know, Michigan could lose another game. Michigan State could lose another game. Notre Dame could lose another game. There's a lot of coulds. But I guess what I'm saying, is there a world where A&M could get into the college football playoffs if enough teams get to 2 losses?
Yeah, and look, this playoff committee has shown that sometimes style points matter. I mean, I thought that was a big reason why A&M got left out last year, was because, you know, they won some games that, and I bring this up all the time. The LSU game, I thought A&M should have blown away LSU last year. I thought they should have won like 40-3. I think if the Aggies put an exclamation point, if they're able to win going away against Ole Miss this weekend in Oxford, and then in 2 weeks they win going away against LSU, I think that's the exclamation point you need on the end of the season to say, hey, look, we deserve to be in there. If Bama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship game, both will have 2 losses. But I think maybe the committee, Jimbo could sell, we beat them head to head, so put us ahead of them if it's talking, you know, getting back into the playoff rankings. There's just so much Bama bias, David. It's ridiculous. People I've talked to around the country are like, well, Bama's still one of the best teams in the country. I'm like, guys, resumes matter. Like, why are we playing the games if at the end of the day we're just going to go, well, I clearly think Alabama's one of the best teams. Well, I don't give a damn what you think. Like, we got to go with what happened on the field. Like, every year Bama's got the #1 recruiting class. They're always going to have the best talent. They're always going to be on paper one of the 4 best teams in the country. But that's not what this whole playoff thing is about. It's not who you think is the 4 best. Who's proven it? Who's got the best resume? And I think the Aggies that have one of the best wins in the country with the win over Alabama when they were #1. And, you know, look, you beat a 13th ranked Auburn. You go in and beat a 16th ranked Ole Miss this weekend. That's a heck of a resume that the Aggies put together. And I think they absolutely will be in a contention for that, you know, 4th spot if they're able to run the table.
Yeah, I know it's just kind of a ridiculous thinking, but I just wanted to get into it. What about, I'll give you some time for Texas. Are they going to be bowl eligible this year? They got what, Kansas? Who else do they got on their list? West Virginia and K-State.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I mean, look, you knew they were going to go through some growing pains. I thought Sark was going to hit the ground running there, at least with what they had in Bijan Robinson. You know, you had the quarterback battle in the summer, and you kind of settled on that. But nowhere in my mind did I think that they'd be losing 4 straight. They're going to beat Kansas. They'll likely win at West Virginia, and they'll likely beat Kansas State. So they'll probably finish strong, win these last 3, and finish 7-5, which, you know, on paper isn't terrible. But I just question, man, like, what? I know Tom Herman, there was a disconnect there with the recruiting and the Texas high school coaches, and he was kind of a jerk to deal with and all that. But his resume wasn't all that bad at Texas, and, you know, honestly wasn't all that different from what Charlie Strong was doing. And now look at what Sark's doing. It's just, I don't know, David. We always say, is Texas back? I don't know if they're ever going to be back. And joining the SEC, my God, it's just going to get even more difficult on them. So I don't know what the answer is. I just know them blowing these leads that they get every week in and week out is not good. And I know you're not going to move on from a coach after just 1 year, but Sark has got to take a huge step forward next year if he's going to, you know, take any heat off him.
Cordy, we appreciate you, sir. Talk to you soon.
Definitely, man. Go Ags.
Giga, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time. We'll talk very soon. I want to remind everybody right now to text radio to 833-638-6248 for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway. Courtesy of our friends at Aggieland Outfitters, we're going to unveil that winner during the 10 o'clock hour of Friday's show. I'm a hoodie guy. Love me the hoodie, all right? And if you're walking around campus or walking around life or whatever, you know, get yourself a hoodie. Really should have had this one ready to roll already, but I like to show it out there. It's got the awesome material. It features a simple A&M Texas A&M logo on the center of the chest with the thin strips emphasized all over the hoodie. This one is called the A&M Adidas Game Mode Training Hoodie Long Sleeve, retail value of $39.99. It's simple, it's stylish, the material's phenomenal. If it's hot, you can still wear it. If it's cold, you can definitely wear it. It's got that breathable material. It's so nice. I want to make sure that everybody jumps on it and starts wearing this one right here. Go by Aggie Land Outfitters. You can get that there. It's only $39.99. The Texas A&M Adidas Game Mode Training Hoodie Long Sleeve, retail value of $39.99.
Your home for Sunday and Monday night NFL is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The NFL is on the zone.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
If you have considered replacing the windows in your brick veneer home, you may have been told that it would be necessary to either remove the brick or tear up the inside of your window box. You need to know that Intercon replaces windows and brick every day, and we don't tear up anything except the window which is being removed. By installing windows every day, Intercon personnel have worked out methods which result in the replacement windows being at least as neat and effectively installed as your windows were when they were new. This means that Intercon can furnish and install replacement windows which exceed today's tighter standards for efficiency. They look and perform just as well as the best windows in brand new homes. Call Intercon or visit our showroom and we will furnish you customer references for homes you can look at and homeowners you probably know who can tell you that Intercon can solve your window problems without wrecking your home or your budget, just as we did theirs. Intercon will furnish a free quote and we won't pressure you to buy.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's. Today's topic, Black Friday. I've been training for it all year. Like a marathon? Pretty much. The deals are here, so I made my list. Checked it twice? Yep. And mapped out the best gifts, like sneakers for my husband, toys for my kids, a cozy throw for my sister, and for me, not telling. There's even an extra 15% off, and you can get Kohl's cash. So you'll go back for more. I've taught you so well. Select styles. Select deals valid through November 10th. Some exceptions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggieLandBigDeals.com to save big. AggieLandBigDeals.com.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
We know the Titans are pretty good. Where are they in the AFC? They're playing like the best team in the AFC. I'll give them their flowers for it. I mean, without Derrick Henry, I never thought I would say it, but they are playing like the best team in the NFC.
What's nuts, Key, is...
I don't know if it's sustainable, though.
Yeah, if Derrick
that's
Henry...
what makes you always wonder about it. If Derrick Henry were healthy, I would say yes.
When it comes time for the playoffs and we start saying who's getting out of the AFC, I'm predicting now, Jay, you're taking the Bills. Key, you're taking the Ravens. I'm not saying who I'm taking.
Fair.
And I think the reason is when push comes to shove, and it's tough to say, and teams are kind of evenly matched, you like extra at the quarterback. I mean, people do. It's human nature. But the Titans, maybe they don't have that, but they got, like he said, he's an athletic quarterback. He's good. He's smart. He has good players around him. Like, I don't know that the Titans can't get out. Like, maybe.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
All right, guys, welcome back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It's time to pass it back. We've been passing it back all day long, and we're going to continue that. Our friends at the Association of Former Students, 24 hours to give back. And I'm going to remind you guys, hook a brother up. Do it at tx.ag/Nuno21. That means TexAgs and myself, we're going to get a little credit because it's a competition. We're trying to win this thing. We're trying to get over 5,000 donors. And right now, we're going to talk a little muster with Rachel Grieve. She is the beneficiary of today and Muster Awareness Executive. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So I'm excited about talking to you because Muster, obviously one of the biggest traditions at A&M, and I just want to talk about your role and how the association is helping you guys maneuver through these times. What is the Aggie Muster Committee?
So the Aggie Muster Committee is 30
current students who work together to put on the campus muster ceremony every year. Our committee is comprised of both undergraduate and graduate students here at A&M. We're just filled with passionate people who are all about giving back to the Aggie family and the selfless service that comes with the Aggie Muster.
Absolutely. So this is an event that many of us have been to. So I want to talk about the muster ceremony on campus and the impact that has on the families.
Oh, goodness. Aggie Muster is one of the most poignant traditions we have at A&M. It's something that is so universal because every Aggie is honored at muster, and specifically our campus muster incorporates Aggies that are current students who have passed away in the past year. They're close relatives who are also alumni of A&M and they're a current student. So if you have a grandparent or a parent and you're a current student here and they pass away in the past year, you can honor them at campus muster. Our active duty military who passed away in the past year as well are honored on campus, and then any member of the 50th year class reunion who've passed away in the last year, you can see the trend, are honored as well in our ceremony.
And obviously we do it typically on April 21st there at Reed Arena. And just, have you felt the impact yourself?
Oh my goodness, yes. I went to my first muster as a freshman. I was not raised in an Aggie household, so coming to A&M, I was open to all these traditions. And as a freshman, I went to my first muster, and you just feel the gravity in the room that comes every time a name is called, and tears responded by the Aggie family, and you can just feel this tangible impact, not only for the families on the floor and being there with the Aggie family and supporting them in their grief and their remembrance, but just that, this overwhelming peace that comes with knowing that one day that will be done for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about how the association helps partner up and really make this such a winning event.
The association is such a great hand for us in all that we do for our campus muster ceremony. They help us from things with like the poster and program I presented to you. They help us design that, any other collateral material we need for our propaganda and raising awareness for muster. They also help with like hands and feet on the floor the day of the ceremony and just any way that we need that capacity, as well as monetary contributions from things like Pass It Back to help us put on such a beautiful ceremony and the reunion barbecue we have for the 50th year class reunion.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that barbecue because I know it's a big hit.
Oh, it is a big hit. I know I love a good barbecue. Who doesn't love a little bit of camaraderie and reunion? And it's a great time for current students to meet up with those OLAGs and really get to talk about what A&M was back in the day and get to share our own personal stories of what A&M is for us. So it's a great time to come together and just relive the glory days for those OLAGs and talk about just how much A&M has impacted all of us, and get excited for that ceremony at night and just talk about all their memories and their loved ones.
When we think about giving it back and passing it back, we think about, people who've been out of school for a few years, 10 years, a couple years, whatever it may be, 50 years. But really, it's important for students to find a way, too, for everything that's happening.
Absolutely. I know as a current student, college can be expensive, so passing it back by attending muster, pursuing these traditions that make our university so special. If you do have the ability, you can give as a current student on Passing Back Day and be part of this really great effort to support traditions like ours and other traditions across campus and other student organizations that seek to preserve what A&M is and keep pushing our traditions and values into the future.
When you talk to non-Aggies in your family, because you said you didn't grow up in an Aggie household, have they kind of embraced and adopted the culture?
Oh, my mother has just absolutely become A&M's biggest fan. Going back from my new student conference, she, when the Warham was playing, she stood off on the side and threw a hook 'em up, and a little bit of shade was thrown her way. But now she's attended muster and comes to all of my student activities here on campus, and has really just come to love A&M with the passion that only an Aggie mom has.
And what about this football team winning right now? It's got to help the vibe around this, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a senior, so it's a really great year to have a winning season and a great way to close it out. And it just really helps keep up that Aggie spirit going into the spring and pushing forward with muster and getting to see all that the Aggie tradition does from the 12th man. Let's have that 12th man in Reed Arena on April 21st. Being just as loud as we are in Cow Field when we call here.
I do want to remind everybody to pass it back right now. Go to tx.ag/NUNO21. That is tx.ag/NUNO21 to give back. We'd really appreciate it. That is a great conversation there with Rachel Grieve. Rachel, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time talking to you.
It has been fun. And make sure you guys are all involved in Pass It Back Day today. And right now, we're going to take a little sidestep and talk about the difference with Caprock Health System. They are patient-centered care They're the 100% locally owned and operated right here in the Brazos Valley. They're bringing it to you guys. They want to put the patient first in every decision that they make. So, their sole purpose is to make you feel better. And when you're going to an emergency room, you're already stressed out about the wait, about just whatever you're dealing with, your loved one, whatever they're dealing with. How about go somewhere that cares? They all care. But I'm going to tell you right now that Caprock is going to take it a step further. They're Aggies, right? They're locally owned. They're operated. They're bringing it to you. They maintain cash prices that rival any competitor in the BCS area. And they've got state-of-the-art facilities, the Caprock Hospital in Bryan and Caprock 24-hour emergency center in College Station. Both have 0 wait times for emergency care. You'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room. Go check them out, Caprock Health.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The annual Veterans Day ceremony will be held at Earl Graham Post 159 American Legion on Thursday at 11 a.m. The Museum of the American GI invites you to their History in Motion event this weekend. The action-packed weekend has fun activities for the entire family. The Bryan College Station Model Railroad Society invites you to their fall open house this weekend in Bonham Park. The Arts Council invites adults to join their adult art classes this fall semester. They have 7 incredible opportunities for you to try something new or expand your skills. All supplies are included. Register online at acbv.org. Hit the road to watch some Aggie football thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G provider of the SEC and the Louis Bellina Show. Win tickets to the Ole Miss game in Oxford, a gas card to get you there, and some Rudy's Barbecue to fuel you along the way. More details at zone1150.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
At Christmas, love has an army that fights for good. A bell is our battle cry, and we carry with us red kettles filled with hope and help. Hello, this is Captain Timothy Israel from the Salvation Army of Bryan College Station, inviting you to join our fight for good this Christmas season. Volunteer to be a bell ringer at one of our red kettles. We are looking for individuals, families, and organizations who want to help. Because of bell ringers, hope marches on. Sign up today at salvationarmybcs.org.
Bryan Broadcasting congratulates Bryan High, A&M Consolidated, Rudder, and College Station High on making it to the state football playoffs. Don't miss any of the action. Hear every game on the Bryan Broadcasting family of radio stations and streamed online. Thank you to our sponsors, Rapid Express Car Wash, American Momentum Bank, Zwerneman Flooring, and Kelly Burt Dozer. For games and times, go to brazosfootball.com.
Since 1957, Slovačić Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovačić is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovačić. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh